Hello and welcome back to some more F1 2020 in part 37 of our My Team career mode with Jordan GP. Today we have the Italian Grand Prix, another race this season that we could potentially win. We are getting right back into the championship, but we start today's episode with a big announcement. Kimi Räikkönen will be retiring at the end of the season. That's going to open up a seat at Racing Point, which is very interesting indeed. I mean, he hasn't had the best of seasons. He's down in 18th position in the standings. Last year, he finished... what's that going to be? 14th, I think, for Alfa Romeo. Had a much better season for them, weirdly. He had a couple of good races for Racing Point so far, but nothing too special, really, considering the performance of that car and how well Lance Stroll has done in certain races. You'd expect Kimi to be doing a lot better, but that is the standings in the championship at the moment. We've won 3 of the last 5 races. We've been in the top 5 every race since race 4 in Holland, and we're looking at getting 3 in a row today. We are 40 points behind Lewis Hamilton in the championship, and even the constructors isn't completely off the cards. Now, if we do win the constructors this season, it will make season 2 the final season for now. But if we don't win it this year, then of course I will extend it into a 3rd season. But today we've got one of our 50% races. It's one of the jewels in the crown, if you like, in Italy. So this is one of our 50% races. The next few will be 25, probably up to Japan or the USA, depending on time, really, because I am back to work full time today, actually, as a teacher. So content may well slip a little bit over the next couple of weeks while I get into the routine of it. I'm trying to get as far ahead as possible so that it doesn't affect things too much. But we've got qualifying coming up. It's going to be an important qualifying session. Now, something I have thought about is taking a new engine, because it is one of our 50% races. So potentially that's what we go for, and a bit of damage limitation today, because I think honestly we would finish fairly well in the Grand Prix. So yeah, we might do that. Oh, it's such a tough decision, because we've got, how many races have we got to go? 6. We've got 8 races to go. Can we do 8 races on these engine parts? I mean, potentially we can. Okay. And if we have to take an engine at USA or something, then we'll do that. So, panic over. We will be taking part in qualifying. So let's see how we get on. Well, here we come, up to the line, exceeding track limits a little bit, but got away with it. And that's P1, a 1:18.1. Fantastic lap. And Ocon up there again for Renault, which I guess, is very representative of what happened at the weekend. Renault were very, very strong, so expecting them to be strong again this weekend in Monza, potentially. Well, very comfortably through to Q2, 5/10 quicker than Sebastian Vettel in P2, but most surprisingly to me is Bottas and Hamilton 8th and 9th. Surely that's not representative pace for them. Well, start at Q2 then on these medium tyres. What are we going to be able to put in? It's a much slower lap. It's actually a 1:19.5, which is 6/10 off Kvyat. I'm not entirely sure we're going to be able to manage to get through, but we might as well try and improve on our lap this time round on the medium tyres and see if we can improve that time, and if not, we're going to have to come out on the softs. Well, we've had to come out on the soft tyres because the mediums weren't quick enough for us. And here we come up to the line, a much better lap, but is it going to be enough to get through? Yes, it is, just about. So we're through in 8th position, but I tell you what, that was a lot more stressful than it should have been, and a lot slower than our times in Q1, which is a little bit worrying. Apparently we get through in 5th, that's a little bit strange, but yeah, Hamilton and Bottas had to come through on the softs as well, so everybody's going to be on the softs tomorrow. Nobody could make the medium tyre strategy work, but who's going to get pole position? Well, that is certainly a question we don't know the answer to at the moment. Well, this has been one of the best laps of the season so far. Pretty much every apex hit with maximum speed. This is probably going to be in the 17s. Well, a 1:18.1, which puts us first at the moment. Bottas splits myself and Perez. I don't think it's over yet though. Well, let's take you on a lap of Monza. It has started raining. I do wonder whether there is going to be any chance whatsoever of us improving on this lap, considering that there is a few droplets of rain and we're already nearly 3/10 down after the first corner. Admittedly, it wasn't that good. We took a bit more curb than we should have. We're flying through that section, 3/10 up on that particular corner. You can see we dipped into the green very briefly there, and once again, and now 2/10 up. I mean, we're only a tenth of a second ahead of Bottas, but that is a purple middle sector. Bottas definitely not going quicker this time. You can see that. We're right in his slipstream. He actually wheels to the right hand side now. He's not going to be improving, but that's Lewis Hamilton up ahead, I believe. We've gone a little bit wide. Hamilton comes into the pits. We've definitely got pole position, and we improve it even further into the 1:17s, and we get another pole position this season. What a lap that was. And weirdly, another 3/10 of a second
and with qualifying complete,
on the table, you would think.
Our top 3 today: the captain, Bottas, and Sergio Perez. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Well, what a lap, what a qualifying session, and I can't stress how much I think the tow from Bottas helped. Up towards Ascari and then down towards Parabolica. But what a qualifying session. Hamilton only 5th. That is huge for the race tomorrow. So let's hand over to David Croft and Anthony Davidson, who will take you through it.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today here at the oldest circuit on the calendar. Monza hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we can expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with 7 of those coming in the form of chicanes, and with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? Looks like they've got a tough race in store today as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. The captain lines up on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo, and Verstappen, Vettel, Fiat, Sainz, and Lance Stroll, Bottas, Gasly, Lando Norris, and Raikkonen, Schumacher, Ocon. They've taken a grid penalty. Nicholas Latifi, and Roman Grosjean, Albon, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So down on the track, starting 1-2 for the Jordan team because Bottas has taken a 10-place grid penalty. Esteban Ocon has also took a 10-place grid penalty. So two of the big contenders from last time out not racing in favourable positions today. And it's very interesting because Lewis Hamilton now in 4th place. If he gets a good start, he could well be leading after turn 1. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Race, the team are hoping for more of the same, but with yesterday's qualifying performance, it could be tough. Good luck.
So it's difficult to know what's going to be the best strategy here. Is it going to be a 2-stop or is it going to be that 1-stop that was previously advertised? Just having a little play around with it. See if we can improve this at all. So potentially something like that could work. Yeah, maybe. But they seem to say, let's stretch our tyres out to lap 10 and then put the mediums on. Let's revert that to the defaults, and that's only 2 seconds quicker, and we'll have much nicer tyres. It's a tough one. It's a tough decision to make. Definitely is. So we've got 27 laps to enjoy today. What do we go for? I guess we can decide while we're on the track, can't we? So we'll see how it goes. I suppose we can toggle personalise. They seem to think we can I'm very confused at the fuel load there. But yeah, no idea. Right, anyway, let's get into the race and hope for the best here. Got to get off to a good start because Perez has been lightning quick off the starts this year.
Good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
So need to get these tyres nice and warm. We obviously want the best possible start. Ricciardo is up in 5th as well. I'll tell you what, Renault have had a wonderful second half of the season so far. That wasn't the best corner. Our brakes didn't work very well, and that's always a concern. You don't want your brakes to fail, but yeah, the brakes aren't feeling good at all so far. Tyres aren't warming up a great deal. Already got 8% wear on these tyres as well. So this is going to be a really tough first stint on these soft tyres. That's why we wanted to be on the mediums. And you would imagine lower down the order they've gone for the medium tyres. But actually nobody on the grid has gone for the mediums. That is crazy. Crazy talk. Very, very surprised at that. yeah, tyres are gonna play a factor, so we can't push too hard at the start of this race. But here we come round the final corner as we're gonna reform the grid for the race start. So we're lining up on pole position. Sergio Perez lining up in second, Charles Leclerc third, Lewis Hamilton fourth, Ricciardo fifth, Max Verstappen in sixth place, Sebastian Vettel starts seventh. We've got Danny Kvyat in eighth place. We've got Lando Norris in ninth, and I think Lance Stroll in 10th. Then we've got Bottas, followed by Gasly, followed by Sainz, and then Raikkonen, of course. And down in P15, you have got Mick Schumacher. So here we go, ready for the lights of this Italian Grand Prix. Here we go. Lights out, away we go here in Italy. It's a great start off the grid for us. Leclerc has got off to a good start as well. He's jumped Sergio Perez. We're just single-minded though, coming into the first corner, and we lock up our brakes. We weren't confident on the formation lap. There is yellow flags. Not entirely sure what happened at turn 1. Maybe somebody made some contact with somebody else. But we're leading, going down into turn 3. A little bit slippy, slidey through there, but we're alright. We're through it nice and safely. So into the Lesmos. We need to try and break this 1 second window to the Ferrari behind, because we know they're going to have decent straight line speed around here, because it's the game and not real life. But here we come, up to Ascari for the first time in this race. A little bit too early on the turning, and a little bit lucky not to get a corner cutting warning there. We're now 8 tenths up on Leclerc, but unfortunately for us, we've ran out of ERS deployment for this lap. So coming around Parabolica for the first time, just dipped over a second, but we lead after the first lap. Got to be happy with that. And let's just have a look at the fuel situation. It's looking good for now. I think it's worth trying to push hard on this next lap, because if we can get out of that 1 second window, we're almost guaranteed to be leading this stint. So, but unfortunately for us, Charles Leclerc is catching up now. So it's going to be an exciting first couple of laps of this Grand Prix. Need to push hard now. Into the Lesmos we go. Don't want to use too much of our tyres as well. That's the other consideration we have. Well, Leclerc 0.6 of a second behind us. He is going to just continually close in and hold on to that slipstream. Perez is dropping back a little bit, which is disappointing. Once again, just a little bit too quick to turn into Ascari. We can maybe give ourselves a little bit more leeway next time round, and we're going to have to, I think. It's coming into Parabolica now. Charles Leclerc is within a second, so he's going to get DRS. So here we come on to the start-finish straight. Charles Leclerc 0.8 of a second behind. He has, well, he is going to get DRS unless we increase the gap massively in this first sector. I feel like there is yellow flags on the start-finish straight as somebody potentially crashed. I'm not sure, but 0.8 of a second ahead. Now breaking down into this second sector. Need to push hard, take a bit more curb than we usually would. Need to stay a second ahead. I think we're alright. I think we're out of the DRS range. And now it's all about pushing hard. We know we can take Ascari a little bit later. That was a little bit better. A little bit of curb on the exit. That could have went wrong. But now coming up to Parabolica, we have got that 1.1 second lead that we needed. going into the DRS detection zone. We've just got a little bit more grip around that final corner than Leclerc has. So 3 laps in, exciting so far, but I think we've got it under control. Well, here we come, completing lap 8 of this Grand Prix. You can see we've got a nice 4.5 second gap on Charles Leclerc. I'm not sure when he'll be coming into the pits, but these tyres are feeling pretty good, so I'm certainly planning on staying out here as long as I can, really. Vettel up to 3rd now, Hamilton 4th, Bottas 5th. Not sure where Perez is. Got to be honest, I haven't seen that he's come into the pits, so I'm a little bit worried that Perez is just a sitting duck out there and is falling back.
Seconds, they're on old softs. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 23.0. Sergio is in for his stop.
Well, people have started coming into the pits now on lap 12. We're still out there on our soft tyres 2 laps after we were meant to come in. I think just because I just want to see what direction people are going in with their tyre selection. I mean, I think we can make the mediums work from this point, so I don't think there's going to really be an issue, but you know, these tyres are feeling pretty nasty now, but 7.5 seconds ahead of Leclerc. We're still pulling out half a second a lap to Charles, so I don't see any real reason to come in and jeopardise that, really. I think we can make the medium tyres work now. I am going to add a click to the wing. I think we will come into the pits on this lap. I don't really see the value in staying out one more lap. So we're in, and hopefully this will turn out to be a good decision. Leclerc's in as well. I would imagine that Bottas is going to pit. Two, you know, maybe Kvyat and similar drivers will stay out for one more lap. No, Kvyat has
okay, stay clear of the white line on the
come in. I think everybody has come in now. So we're away on the medium tyres. So yeah, looks like everybody else has gone for the mediums as well. It was obviously a toss-up between the mediums and the hard tyres. So we're in control of this race, and it's looking like another 25 points at least coming in here. Well, we're coming round to try for the fastest lap here. A green first sector, a purple second sector. What's it going to be in the third sector? Purple. A 1:20.3. And that is, as Jeff says, the fastest lap of the race so far. I think we got 2 seconds on Leclerc in that last lap as well. So that might be an extra point towards our championship. And well, with Hamilton in 3rd at the moment, 11 points is what we're going to make up, and that would put us 29 points behind in the Drivers' Championship. It's very much game on.
Some information on Norris. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
Well, Lando Norris out of the Grand Prix. That's a bit of a shame. I'm hoping that that doesn't result in any sort of safety car, but he is just parked on the main straight. I'm a bit surprised it's not a safety car, but well, I guess That's just the way it goes. As I say, I'm a little bit surprised, but you know, I think
Yellow flag.
we're doing a great job. There he is there. I mean, that's dangerous in my opinion.
Okay, clear.
Obviously feel they can deal with it, so you got to just take your hat off to them and hope they do a decent job. But 10 laps to go, including this one, and it is looking very comfortable at the moment, just managing the gap to Leclerc, not really pushing very hard, trying to look after the car and the engine as much as possible. You know, I am wary of what has happened in both Britain and Belgium, where a big gap was reeled in. So, just looking after the car really, but yeah, I think, you know, a thoroughly dominating victory is what it's looking like. I'm just so annoyed that Perez hasn't, you know, produced today, because it could have been a big day for the constructors if he managed to come in second. You know, he started second, so, you know, he had no excuse really. But he's dropped back, and I think he's behind Danny Kvyat at the moment, so I think Perez is only in the lower reaches of the top 10. He's 20 odd seconds behind us, so we know he's at least 5 seconds behind Bottas, so yeah, it's a little bit disappointing to say the least, but it's certainly a not very busy day for us out in front.
Let's use overtake and burn some of this energy.
Well, Perez is out. Perez is out. That's maybe why he's been slow today. That is huge. I can't believe Sergio Perez has
just
retired.
stopped the car. He's out of the running.
That is a big, big moment, you feel, because the Jordan GP car has never retired from a race. In our 2 seasons so far, that's the first retirement we've had, and that maybe explains why Sergio has been so slow today, because he's had an engine problem and well, he's pulled over to the side. Again, I'm surprised that's not brought out a safety car. I'm glad it hasn't, because we've got a big gap, but I suppose he is pulled over to the side. But Perez out of the Grand Prix. That is a shocker. Well, coming on to the final lap of the race, it looks like it's going to be a dominating win for us and the Jordan team. I'm going to push really hard on this final lap and see what this car is capable of on this tyre, on this fuel. Can we get another fastest lap? That's going to be the question. I've saved up a lot of energy. I've looked after the car a lot. It's now time to have a bit of fun. We've done the hard work. And there you go, a purple
We'll be back on time
first
soon.
sector.
Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
We hit the inside curve there, but that's absolutely fine. And we're through pretty much the hardest sections of the track now. Use plenty of energy up towards the middle sector. And we are up. It's not purple, but we are up. Oh, through Ascari, a little bit of a wobble. I'm not sure this is going to be the fastest lap, especially now because we've ran out of energy. But into Parabolica, we can take a bit more speed. We're going to come up to the line and we're going to win the Italian Grand Prix. Our 3rd win in a row. And it's absolutely fantastic. We're back in the championship.
Fantastic. You deserved that race win.
And with that, we wrap up yet another incredible Grand Prix weekend. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
The faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Esteban Ocon. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of his tyres, and he showed that today.
Let's move on to the constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, AlphaTauri's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Well, what an exciting Grand Prix, and what a result, a dominating performance, 13 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc, our nearest challenger, after opening a few laps, tussling with the Monegasque driver. We pulled away as soon as we got out of the 1 second window. Hamilton and Bottas will be very, very happy with 3rd and 4th. After the weekend that they've had. Vettel finishes 5th with Kvyat in 6th. Excellent for AlphaTauri. Ocon finishes 7th with Stroll in 8th, Verstappen 9th, and Pierre Gasly in 10th. The disappointment today comes from Sergio Perez's retirement. We are up to 2nd in the championship though, 29 points behind Lewis Hamilton. A DNF for Hamilton, and we could well be within striking distance if we were to win another Grand Prix. Sergio Perez is down to 7th, 119 points. Potentially is going to be replaced for Season 3 on current form. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit the thumbs up button down below. It really does help out. Means a lot to me as well. Subscribe to the channel for weekly F1 content on a Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at 12 PM. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.